And it froze. Okay, cool. All right, so the 3 things that I have up right now that are going to be important for when creating this. One is Photoshop, obviously. The exercise write-up, I'm going to look specifically at the document setup so I know what size we're working with. And then also, I pulled over here just the files of each or all 6 of my my images or frames that I'm going to be using to then put together, okay? All right, so first things first. So I've already kind of built this out, but I'm still going to walk you through this. But at the end, this is what it's going to be able to do, okay? You're going to be able to see it play through, and then I'm also going to show you how to export this properly because it's a little difficult. But you can see here that it's kind of set up, hopefully everybody can see everything, but there's this thing called the timeline down here, which is what's going to help us animate to tell it, because we are using 6 different frames that are 6 individual layers, okay? And so what this does, the timeline does, is tell that to turn off and on. And it keeps doing that and keeps looping it, and it's going to forever animate, okay? And then we can tell it the time and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File and New. And we are working with a square file, okay? So this is 1080 by 1080. So go ahead and have that put in. We are working in 72 DPI or PPI or whichever you prefer to say, because this is going to be a web-based image. So you don't need the highest quality of stuff, all right? Color mode, we're in RGB because why? Exactly. Okay, I just want to make sure y'all still remember. I had one of my second years yesterday ask me which format she needs to use, and I'm like, girl, really? Anyways, RGB, and then everything else, you can have it as transparent, or you can have it as white, or you can set a background color if you want to. But for me, I'm just going to go transparent because I'm loading everything in. Each of my images that I've created have a background, so it's not going to matter anyways, okay? So you can already see, I'm going to close this so I can show you where to find this. So you're going to go to Window and then Timeline, okay? And it's going to open up this box right here, okay? I'm just going to open up. It may look shorter or whatever, but it's going to show this, okay? Now, your next step is to load in all of your images, okay? I would go one at a time. You could possibly try to drag them all in at the same time if you're on a Mac, but just go one at a time to make sure that they also line up as well. Depending on how you exported them from either an iPad, they may be at a different ratio, so just make sure that they are lining up correctly. So I'm going to start dragging over one, hit Enter, and then I'm going to go and add another layer, and then add my second one. So that's why it's good to go ahead and do it all separately, so that way you can get your certain layers. Then I'm going to go, oh shoot, okay, this one. And now I'm going to drag over 3, hit Enter, add a new layer, add 4, add a new layer, add 5, new layer, and then 6. All right, so I have these all in here, okay? All of them could be turned on. Now, if you have to make adjustments on where they are positioned, feel free to play around with the opacity to see what's underneath, to kind of line them up if you have to, arrange them differently, make them bigger, whatever. Hopefully, you don't have to do too much of that, but this would be the time to do that before you start taking it into the Animate, okay? I'm going ahead and get it all adjusted per layer, okay? So I'm going to go down here to the timeline and hit Create Frame Animation. Wait a second. Why is it not doing that? What is it doing? Okay, wait. Give me 1 second. Convert to video timeline. Okay. This is going to help a whole lot more. Okay, so a tip is when you go and create your video timeline, it's going to look like there's only one there for right now. I suggest you go into the little hamburger menu thingy that's up in this corner and turning and making sure that it says, hold on, where did I go? Go back. Okay, hit this and then hit convert to video timeline, because that way you can stack it better. It's just gonna be a whole lot easier. And this is ultimately the same as if you've ever worked with Premiere or Audition, your timeline is going to kind of come up the same way. So you can see that it's giving me 6 different frames automatically here. The only way to see that is if you do turn it into the video timeline for now, okay? So now you are going to drag these purple blocks and you're going to stagger them, okay? So obviously, if you put them one on top of the other, you're never going to see the animation. So you're going to have to then pull, so you start with your first one, keep it in that right place. Then you're going to go to your second one and pull it over. And so it's going to start looking like a stair step, okay? So then I'm going to take the third one, stair step, fourth one, stair step, like that, okay? So that way, it's only going to start turning on the layer of when it hits those purple blocks. That's kind of like the computer telling it what to do, okay?
How do you convert to a timeline?
You need to go to Window, Timeline. You on you got that? Okay, Window, Timeline. And then, do you have, okay. And then you can go ahead and create animation when it says that there's a button in the center of it. And you have all of your layers imported, right? Into it?
Yes.
Okay. So right now you're only going to see the one. So say if I was, I don't know if I can turn it back. Can I turn it back? No. Panel options, show. No, we're just going to keep it on this. This is what I like. So you're going to go over here to the hamburger menu, Kim, and right now my commands are going to look different because I'm now in a different version, but you're going to find where it says convert to video timeline. Did you see it? Hold on. Oh, yours is already on it. Okay, yours is already on it. You're good. You're good. So yours looks similar to mine right now. You see the purple blocks, or at least, I don't know, what yours might be a different color. And the important thing is to stagger these, okay? And they need to be one after the other, okay? They don't need to, don't space the second one out because then it'll just disappear. So make sure that they are stair steps, all right? So when you go and try to play it, it's gonna be really, really flippin' slow, and that's okay. We are going to go in and, let's see here. Why? Panel options? No. How did I do that the last time? That's so weird. Go to set frame rate. I don't want it to be that. We're gonna want it to be really quick, so we'll set it from here.
I don't think mine's not playing in the animation.
I know, because it's gonna be really slow right now, and I'm trying to remember how to get back to that.
No,
Hold on.
I could just skip from one to the last one.
Make sure, are you stair stepping each different one?
Yes.
Yours kind of looks similar to, I know y'all can't really see that probably back there since it's all the way down at the bottom. Hold on. I'm trying to lift it up so you can maybe see it a little better back there. Okay, let's see here. No motion. Aha, there we go. Okay, now I see. Okay. So, no, yes, okay. We're still gonna have to, no? I guess not. Will be converted. Okay, and then we need to set, okay, so if you have them, go ahead and stair step them. But I'm noticing I don't know if we necessarily have to do that, because if I convert it back into the other model, it's going to do something different. But we still go ahead and have it stair stepped, because that way it knows how to process that. But now once you're out of that, you're going to go to these 3 dots down here at the left corner. And it's going to probably come up and say convert, whatever. Oh, mine is doing something very strange. I actually don't, what? Why? Your timeline needs to look like this, where there are 6 or more frames, okay? We can walk back through this, because that is strange. But once you have your timeline like this, because I'm going to go ahead and work this video, you are going to put it on 0.1 seconds, because otherwise it's going to be really, really slow. And then 0.1 seconds, and then have it on the forever loop, and then once you hit play, it'll start playing it over and over and over again. So just to reiterate, I'm going to do this all over again, okay? All right, so making our custom. So we have our document here. I'm going to go ahead, you know what, at this point, let's just go ahead and open up timeline, and I'm going to drop in all of my photos. Okay. Now I'm going to hit create animation. Okay, let me see here. What is this doing? No. That is so strange. Okay. Okay. Ah, there we go. I think that makes sense, because otherwise it's not going to give me... It's got to do that. And if you stair step it, sorry, I'm trial and erroring it right now. Oop. Just to double check, because this is how I did it. And then I went back here, and then it gave me 5. Okay, or 6. Okay. All right, so once you get all of your layers in, this is me reiterating this, all right? And you hit create timeline. Hold on, I'm gonna go back. Okay, so you have all 6 or however many frames you've decided to have. Make sure that you're selected on the first one, okay? And then you're gonna hit create frame animation. All right, at first it's just gonna give you 1. But if you're gonna go and click this little icon down here at the left, right up here, that one next to forever. You're gonna click that, and then you're gonna see that it's gonna have all the different layers, okay? This is where you're gonna stack them as stair steps, okay? Just move them just like this. All right? And now you're gonna go back to the other way, and you're gonna click this button again down here at the left. And then it's automatically gonna give you the 6 different frames, okay? So if you try to play it right now, it's gonna be very slow because it's 5-second increments. So we are going to change that down here just underneath the photo to 0.1 seconds. Or if you want it to be a little longer, you can play around with it, but for a good GIF, I would say 0.1 seconds on each frame is suffice. So I'm going to change all of those. Make sure you change all of them. And then make sure it does say forever down here. And then when you click the play button, it'll automatically play everything, okay? And so what it's ultimately doing, and you can't really see it right now, but if you click on the first image or the first square on the timeline, you can see that layer 1 is the only one that is turned on. You can see the eyeball. Then if you click layer 2, you can see that that one's the only one that's on. Same for 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can see what it's doing, how it's programming it to move, all right? So once you have that all set up, now I'm just going to walk you through of how to export it. But have I lost anybody so far? Remember, this is going to be on a video, okay? So I'm going to post that today. So if you have as you have your 6 frames or more, we're going to go to File, export. Well, actually, first and foremost, go ahead and save your Photoshop file if you have not done so already. Make sure that you name it, let's do EX7 and then underscore your name. And if you want to, you can put, actually don't put GIF because your file handle will be GIF at the end anyway, so just put your name. So I'm going to just save the Photoshop file for now, so we have that saved. And again, I'm going to go to File, Export, and then Save for Web. This is going to be a little different, okay? If you happen to go to Export As and try to export it as a GIF, it gives you the option to export it as a GIF, but it doesn't actually animate. So you got to save it for a web, or save it for web. And you're going to see this. This is a new panel that comes up, okay? You probably have not seen this before unless you have saved for web, okay? It is important to make sure that your preset up here at the top is set to 128 dithered, the GIF file 128 dithered. Otherwise, it's going to save it weird. So make sure it's dithered. And then you don't have to play around with any of the other stuff here. Just check and make sure that it's animating by clicking the play button over here in the corner. And as long as it's running smoothly, go ahead and hit save. But before you go all willy-nilly with save, this is an important step. Otherwise, it's going to give you an HTML file if you do not change it, okay? So mine automatically gives me a format of HTML and images. But in order to just get the GIF file, just hit images only, okay? Otherwise, like I said, it's going to come up an HTML file and it's not going to work right. And so you can see up here that it says .gif. Perfect. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go locate my file. And you can see when I open it up that it is now animated. All right. And then this is what you are going to post your GIF into that peer review for next Monday. And then, of course, you're just giving me your Photoshop file. So this week, all I'm asking for are 2 files. So it'll be pretty simple. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this recording just so I can get it rendered and posted for people who want to watch.